Hi, I'm Jasmine, and this is Lady Cloth You, where I share dressmaking tips and tutorials, show you my original pattern designs as well as how to create them, give you behind the scenes look at my dressmaking and alterations business with a sprinkle of fashion history. If that sounds like something you're into, be sure to tap the subscribe button. Let's get started. Before we get started teaching the 4 most commonly used bustle types, I just wanted to let anyone who's interested know I do currently have an upload titled All About Bustles that goes into this style as well as its origins. So you can check that out, and I'll leave some links in the description as well as on the end cards. For our first demonstration, we're going to do the American Bustle. It's a pretty common one, and for that you're going to need a small white hook and eye. The link to this tutorial is in the description, and it goes into great detail, and it's also a great reference, so be sure to check that out. Here I have a fit to flare dress, and again, if you want to learn about silhouettes, I'm going to link that video in the description as well as on the end cards. So we have our small white hook and eye, and this is normally what I use in my studio, and I just have a needle and thread. The first step always is to measure the back of the dress, preferably when the person has the shoes on in the dress, so that you can ensure when the bustle is complete that it's not dragging on the floor, especially if that's not the bride's preference. So you want to do this no matter what kind of bustle it is. You want to make sure you do that measurement. So in this video, I'm just going to give you a couple of tips first. Typically, when you have these dresses, especially ones with the train, they'll have this sort of connecting rope, which is called a chain stitch, and they'll have that there so that the 2 layers stay together. But you'll see as I pick this up how that's not always adequate if you want to pick up all the layers. So here you just see me using a normal pin to pin this in place. This is usually how I test to see if everything's up in place properly. And as you can see, there's some layers sort of sticking out and everything's not properly picked up. So what you'll need to do is make sure that you tack all the layers down together. And there's different ways to do this, but you just want to make sure you do a very as non-visible as possible mark on the hem of the dress so that all the layers will essentially be picked up when you are doing the bustle. Now, these are not going to be the layers or the pieces that are going to be picked up in the bustle itself, so you're not going to be bustling these pieces. This is going to be a 1-point bustle, so there's only going to be one actual connecting point on this bustle, and it's going to be an over bustle. But you'll notice that when you pick up, the difference is now all the layers come up and there's not any of the lining hanging from the bottom of the dress. The more complex the bustle is, the more layers and the more pickups you have to do that have nothing to do with the actual bustle itself. It's just making sure that when you pick it up, everything comes up at the same time. And this is a simple 1-point bustle. This is about as easy as it's going to get. It's an over bustle. It's about as easy as it's going to get. Now that I have my proper measurements and I'm sure that everything is going to be picked up, now I actually have to attach that hook and eye to the dress to ensure that the bustle is complete. So this is what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be using that pin to just mark the area, and sometimes I'll actually use a different color thread or something to let me know, okay, this is where this is going to go and this is where this is going to go, especially if you have a dress with tons of layers. You know, you can lose your spacing. So I just use a pin to mark, okay, this is where the hook is going to go, and then the top area where you can see the pink pin there, that's where the eye is going to go. So that's just me letting you know that's where that is. So then I just go in and sew the eye to the dress. With bustles, the show of craftsmanship is like you don't want it to be very excessively visible. So I try to hide each of these points under the buttons for this particular design. There's so many ways to hide this, and it really comes down to just doing it over time and finding what works best for you and what becomes sort of your signature for how to do it. For me, I just like to hide it underneath, so like if someone is, I don't know, walking by the bride, they don't necessarily see a bustle, and it doesn't take away from the dress when the bride is taking pictures. So that's just me adding the hook portion of the dress to the top area, and now this is me pointing out where that eye is going to go. So this is the portion of the tool that you'll see, and I'm just going to put it at the bottom. So this is just me letting you know this is where this is going to go now, and it's the same thing. You want to make sure you sew it and have it be sort of like hidden underneath one of the buttons. This is a little bit more visible, but it's okay because when it's actually bustled you can't really see it. And you go and you point out, okay, this is where my pickup is, and then you simply just hook it. And again, this is a 1-point over bustle. It's usually called the American bustle. The points indicate how many pickup points, so you can have an American bustle with multiple pickup points, and then that would turn into a 1 or 2 or 3 or so on. Next bustle is the French bustle, and you can see here some of the supplies you need. You might also want to include some safety pins. So this is another common silhouette. It will be somewhere across between a ball gown and an A-line dress, and we have this organza mix, and there may be more than one way to bustle a dress, and you really need to just figure out based on what the bride's preferences are and what will work best with the dress as to how you're going to do a bustle. Now I can do a 1-point American bustle with this, but just for the example of the video, I am going to do the French bustle, but an American bustle 1-point would work just fine for this as well. And it really comes down to the bride's preference as far as like what look she's going for. Okay, so typically a French bustle is underneath, so you would have to, and I'll show you how to create those systems underneath. It will look something like this. So this is an under bustle. So in order to sort of pin these in place, I use safety pins because of what you need to do, and you'll see in the next few steps, it does need to be more secure than just being pinned. So I do use the safety pins as a way to sort of like, I guess, quote unquote, sketch out the bustle. Again, you want to make sure you do those measurements first. Otherwise, this is pointless if you turn out that you're doing this too long. So I just go in and tuck it under, and I use a safety pin to gather all the layers and to just give me an idea of how many points I'm going to need. So here is just a rough draft of what a French bustle looks like. This can also be a double or a triple, and that just means there are more of these rows instead of just the one. But I'm just going to do a single row of the French bustle. And this is what it looks like, pinned evenly. Following the next steps, we have our ribbon here as well as one of the plastic loops. Depending on how many points you need, that's how many loops you're going to need. And it just gives you an idea of the measurements of the ribbon you need. It can be from 1/4 to 1/8. Now I've turned the dress inside out because it's going to make it a lot easier to do what I need to do. Typically the lining layers are usually perfect, so as long as the lining layers don't also have a train, you typically only have to focus on these layers. So like the crinoline, and there's like multiple layers. Usually those layers that I just flipped over, they don't have the train attached to them, so those usually do not need to be also tucked with the in order to make the bustle. So as you can see, I have a few layers that I've tucked, but some are not because those don't need to be bustled. And as you can see here, that's what it looks like when it is inside out. And I take a different color thread so that I have the marking. Then I just go in, and the first thing I'm going to do is, as you can see here, I have that orange thread there, and that's just for me to sort of like note where these markings are going to be. It does get confusing when it's underneath here like this, and there's so many different points and there's fabric everywhere, so it's just easier to mark it. So first I'm going to take that plastic loop and I'm going to sew it right above that mark that I made with the orange thread, and I'm just going to sew that in place and attach it to all the layers. And again, you want to make sure that it is not visible on the other side, so you want to make sure you're not picking up too much fabric. Then I'm going to go in and take that ribbon, and I've cut the ribbon to about a 4-inch piece, and you're going to do that as many times as many pickups as you're going to need. And I'm going to sew that to the other end of the dress, and I'm just going to sew that down. I'm going to use my snippers here, and what you see here is me just now looping the ribbon through the circle and tying it in a bow. The reason why you still see it attached is I still do have that safety pin in, because just in case anything happens, I don't want to lose that marking. So once I have this tied in a bow, I'm going to go in at the end when they're all done and remove the safety pin. And again, you do this for as many of the points as you need to do it for. I have all my pickups in place, I have all my loops in place, so the next thing I want to do now is go ahead and turn the dress right side out. So this is what the single French bustle looks like all completed. I say single because it can be double, triple. It really depends on the complexity that you want to put into this, as well as the bride's preference, and most importantly, what works best for the dress. That's what makes a beautiful bustle, is when you can find a way to make sure that the bustle complements the dress as well as the bride, so that when it's picked up, it doesn't take away from the dress. Now we're moving on to the Austrian Bustle, and you can see here some of the supplies you need, and it does look reminiscent to some of the traditional historical bustles. Again, I'm going to use this A-line ball gown style dress to demonstrate this bustle. Again, this one you can actually use depending on what the bride is looking for. You can use it in different types of dresses, so this is one of the rare ones that, depending on the bride's preference, it can really go across many of the dress silhouettes, again, depending on what the bride is looking for. So again, I've just sort of pinned all the pieces together so that I have an idea of what's going to happen when I pick it up, because this bustle is more about the pickups and the placement of the pickups than actually getting all of it off the floor. So it's supposed to be a little bit more historical, a little bit more dramatic, and so it's not necessarily about where you pick it up, because they have to be picked up in specific places. So I'm pointing out that there are 3 pickup points that I've created. They're usually along the princess seam lines in the back as well as the center back. So for this, I'm not going to turn it inside out, I'm just going to flip it over. So we have these layers up here. I'm going to use a ribbon about a 1/2 inch wide, I would say about 18 inches long, and just 3 of the small plastic loops. So I've sewn the small plastic loops again to those lines, the princess seam, the center back seam, as well as the other princess seam, so they're there. Now I'm going to take the ribbon and I'm going to hand sew it down right under the zipper. So right here you'll see that's where the zipper is the center back. I'm just going to sew it right onto that seam that's in the back and just add a couple of tack marks in there to make sure that it stays in place. Okay, so this is what I think is like the fun part, because all I do now is go in with that single piece of ribbon and I just loop it through all 3 of the loops, and it looks a little bit like this, and you just take it through each loop just like this, and then I'll go ahead to the other side. Once you have it secured through all 3 loops, you just pull. You pull in, and as you can see, the dress comes together, and I think that's like the cool part. And then I just go underneath. Typically I would do it while it's in that, but I was just eager to see what this looked like pulled in like this. But typically it'd be easier if the dress was still flipped up, and then you just tie the ribbon together in a bow and just make sure it's nice and secure so it doesn't fall out. So that's what I went back in there and did. I just tied it together in a bow, maybe even a double bow, to make sure that it doesn't come out. And this is pretty simple, because when the bride wants to sort of release it, all she has to do is pull the ribbon and the whole thing comes down. It's probably one of the easiest under bustles that is available. The other ones do require people to sort of like go underneath the bride and sort of like pin things together, depending on how many pickups she has. But this is the Austrian Bustle. It's an under bustle. You can see it's more the traditional bustle type, and this is a preference for a bride. Some brides may not be interested in this, but it's, like I said, it's historical, it's fun. I think it's very beautiful, and it just pays sort of homage to the more historical 19th century bustle types. For our final bustle, we're going to do the Ballroom Bustle. You'll need some hook and eyes, preferably white ones. So this dress is actually a 1980s dress that I'm going to be restoring for the modern bride. It's one of my heirloom designs that I'm going to be working on. But what I found interesting about this is it already had a ballroom bustle on it. So I felt like this would be the best example to use it. It has this, this is what a dress would be a good candidate for this. It does have a ballroom-esque styling to it. The dresses nowadays, they can be bigger, fuller, but this does give the ballroom-esque or ball gown style that this bustle would work best with. So here you can see that there's a couple of layers here, and the previous seamstress who must have worked on this did do all the pinning to make sure that when she picked it up that all the pieces came together. Along here, you want to make sure again that it's flattering along it, so it definitely was great that she actually used it along the waistline. She used silver hook and eyes, and that's perfectly fine. I would use white only because you want to make sure this is less visible as possible. Also for hers, instead of using eyes, she created these sort of chain stitch loops that are extremely hard to see, so I had to use the orange thread to sort of mark out where those loops were. And now you just go in and connect those looped areas with the actual hooks. And for this one, there was a 4-point pickup system, and there is actually 4 of these points. I've had ones where I've had to do 10 pickup points. I'm sure there's more, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you pick up as much, if not all, as possible of the train. So because these were so tiny, it actually took me quite a minute to find all of them, but essentially I am down to my last pickup and I'm just secured it in there. So this would be considered a ballroom bustle, and it is supposed to emulate just a ballroom or a full pickup. So the way this bustle is supposed to work is that it's supposed to just look like one skirt. So it's not supposed to look distinctly bustled. It really is almost supposed to give the illusion that it's just one full skirt. The only difference I would do if I was to do this originally is I would make sure they was completely even all around. So it looks like here, as you can see to the left, it's a little bit more picked up than it is on the right. I would make sure that it is all the same length all around, because again, as you can see from this side view, it is supposed to give the illusion of it just being one circular skirt and not having any distinctive indications that it was bustle. And that's why we call it the ballroom bustle, because we just want to keep the look of it just being just sort of like a normal skirt and not something that was bustled. So here we have all the bustles. We have our 1-point American bustle, we have our French under bustle, we have our Austrian under bustle, as well as our ballroom bustle. So if you're looking for some more help to make bridal bustling easier, I definitely encourage you to pick up the bridal bustle chart. And this chart is outlined in the 4 basic silhouette styles, and it just basically allows you to communicate to the bride or those helping her get dressed where those bustle points are, especially when you have more complex bustling styles and there's multiple points. And again, it's just broken down into the 4 basic silhouettes, and you can also just highlight which silhouette you use as well as which bustle type that you use. And this is available in my shop as well as my website, and the link will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, make like a lady.